Social and political commentary from a Christian male perspective.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we saw the thumbnail. You saw the title. You know what we're about to do. We're going to talk about some foolishness. All right. But first, a story with Whitaker. If you are married, you're dating, you're engaged, you've ever had a boyfriend or girlfriend, I'm sure you've had a scenario where one of you, whether it be yourself or your significant other, commemorated a special day. All right, the first time you met, first time you went on a date, first kiss, first time you, wherever they've celebrated a special day, dare I say an anniversary. And there are days that are not as special as these days. So for example, your anniversary probably is more special than the first time that you saw her wearing red shoes. Okay. It's not really that important. So it might have been important, but now as things have gone on in life, they're actually not as important. I think we all can agree. And I think we all would also agree that commemorating, hey, the first time you met my parents is nowhere near as important as where we are right now in our relationship, especially if you're married to that person. So, the day-to-day loving and being involved in a relationship with this person is far more important than the first time I gave you a flower. Okay. And so it's fair to say that some commemorations, even though they were important at one time, they're not as important now. And I'm pretty sure if we said, hey, if this was a life and death situation, all anniversaries and commemorations kind of go out the window because you're like, look, right now in this moment, we have a very serious situation going on that supersedes all of that stuff. So, okay, all of that stuff, whether it be good or bad, minuscule or not, hey, we got to focus on this issue that's right here in front of us. And we got to put that to the side and focus on what's important, because what's important is really a big deal. I hope that made sense. And the reason I wanted to bring that up as an example is we are looking at another waste of time by supposed black leaders. What's going on, Jason? 60 years after Bloody Sunday, civil rights leaders in Selma continue to fight. So this is something they've been doing for 60 years, 50 plus 10. Better than half a century, they've been doing this, commemorating this event. The election of Trump and threats to democracy front of mind as activists remember peaceful marchers attacked by police. Okay. And I'm not actually going to I'm going to leave the link to this in the description. I'm not going to read this article to you, but you're welcome to check it out. And you've all seen the marches. You've all seen the pictures and the such, like them marching across the Edmund Pettus Bridge year upon year upon year. And this is just like that every year. This is a commemoration of something that happened in the past. And sure, it might have been important 10 years after, 20 years after, maybe even 30 years after. But now, I'm sorry, 60 years after, this is just an exercise in futility. And I know some people are going to get upset about that. And you disagree with that. Oh, it's this, that, and the other, and the such, and the other such, and the such. I got you. But I want to bring in some other things that I think are far more important than commemorating a march across the Edmund Pettus Bridge. And let's start with this one right here. At least 15 shot during the weekend in Mayor Johnson's Chicago. Now, this is just on the heels of Mayor Johnson last week was in Washington, D.C., regaling how safe and how crime-free Chicago is. Everybody knows Chicago on the weekend, you're going to see large numbers of shootings and violence. It's just a reality. It's been like that since I was a little boy. And so this shout out to Danielle Carter. I thought Chicago's mayor crime rates were down. He said multiple times at the hearing, he lied about everything. Crime is only down around him, with 200 police detail team protecting him, funded by taxpayers. Lock him up. All right. This is something that's far more important than faux marching across the Edmund Pettus Bridge. Imagine them protesting and marching for these shootings that are taking place. Imagine them protesting and marching about the crime rates in major cities. Matter of fact, what about even the crime rates in Selma, Alabama? What about the crime rates in Alabama in general? Like, you could have picked somewhere, pick your struggle. But why do this performative art? Let me call this again. I'm just going to call this performative art of walking across the bridge. You can walk across the bridge now. There are no dogs that attack animals. There's no police stopping you. You can walk across the bridge. What are we doing? But this right here, I mean, this is we're in the midst of this right now. This is an ongoing epidemic. And it's not just Brandon Johnson's fault, mind you, because it's been going on, like I said, since I was a boy. And I'm sure it's probably been longer than that. It'll be here after I leave. This is a problem. So instead of marching across a bridge, performative art about when you couldn't march across a bridge, how about deal with this problem? But watch, there's actually another one. I just want to see, have y'all heard anything about this one? All right, I probably need to move myself out of the way. That would make a lot of sense. Let's do it like this. Herring video shows rapper G Money, Lil Ronnie, trying to flee from cowards who deleted him and his young daughter. I'm sure you all have heard the story about and seen this video of this man being deleted at a gas station with his daughter. And it's pretty sad to watch. And as far as I know, that's the young man and his daughter. She's 5. 30-year-old rapper and his daughter, Ramani, were deleted while getting a cleaning at a car wash in Forest Hills, Texas. That's him. That's the gentleman that deleted him. That's the other one. And that's where they were deleted. And I don't see anybody marching for this. I don't see any of these so-called leaders marching and making a big to-do about this young girl being deleted. Nothing. Now, it says here that they used more than 30 bullet markers were pictured at the scene. If we go back to that picture, there's a lot of markers there. There were a lot. So, yeah, that's a lot of them. I see 47 right there. I don't know what that is. So there's a lot of them. But my point is, where's the marching for this? Where is the protesting for this? Instead of performative displays of theatrics, live action role playing about marching across a bridge, what about this? Why is this not the concern for Al Sharpton? Why is this not the concern for Jamal Bryant? Why is this not the concern for fill in the blank, quote unquote, black leader? Where is the smoke, if you will? Where is the outrage? Where is the vitriol for this? I would love to know, when are these cowards going to step up and actually say, hey, this is inappropriate. This is wrong. We need to say something. We need to do something about this. Instead of, we need to go down here and live action role play a march that really has no relevance today. Not saying you can't remember it. Again, remember, just like my example, you can commemorate it, but it's not the most important thing right now. Your anniversary of the first time y'all kiss is not as important as right now when the house is on fire. Your anniversary, your commemoration of the first time you gave her a flower is not as important as right now when somebody's being carted off to the hospital. It's just not as important. And watching this stuff right here just makes me think, like, we don't care. These people don't care about the things that matter. Sure, you can go back and show me these black and white pictures of when we were not able to march across a bridge and the police were stopping you, and I got you. I understand. But nobody's concerned. It's interesting that it was called Bloody Sunday. It's interesting it's called Bloody Sunday when just about every Sunday in Chicago is bloody. Just about every one of them. I mean, you can pick your struggle. You can pick Chicago, Forest Hills, Texas, fill in the blanks. We ain't talking about New York. We ain't talking about Detroit. What about Memphis? Hey, here in Atlanta. Well, there's so many places that this march could take place. So many places that would probably love to have you come and help stymie some of the crime, stymie some of the activity. Imagine all these people marching in your city for a gang truce. But no. Y'all are just live action role playing. There's no concern. There's no interest. There's no urgency, anything of that nature. We'll just let this stuff keep going. Like, this can keep going on. That's okay. Men being shot down at the gas station, that's not a big deal. Let's let that keep going. Us keep marching across a bridge when we don't, it doesn't matter. Like, you gotta get a permit now to march across a bridge. Oh, wait, we'll keep doing this. We'll keep doing this. This is fine and dandy. Absolutely. But we're not gonna say anything about what's going on in Chicago. We're gonna keep that silent. We're not gonna make a big fuss about that. Nah, not so much. Nah, we good. We're out here taking care of, we're marching across bridges. We're marching across bridges. We're commemorating the day you took your dog out for a walk. We're commemorating the first time you went to your mailbox. We're commemorating stuff that doesn't matter in the today, in the right now. There's so much that we could be doing, so much that needs to be addressed. And instead of doing that, we're marching across a bridge.
Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Thousands of people are here in Selma, Alabama to mark Bloody Sunday, to mark that day, March 7th, 1965, when thousands of people were attempting to cross this very bridge that we're on today, and they were pushed back by members of the Alabama State Troopers. But they persisted, and in August of 1965, a lot because of what happened on this bridge on March 7th, the Voting Rights Act was passed.
You can feel the ancestry as you walk over the bridge. You can feel the hurt and the pain and the strength as well.
Ordinary people fought and died on this bridge to protect our rights and the democracy in this country. And we find ourselves right now at this particular time in the same situation.
I felt a special need to be here this year because we got to gear up, man, to combat the craziness that's coming out of D.C.
Today is a historic day, it's an emotional day, and one of the things that I was most emotional about is that you can see behind me, those are state troopers, and I'm right literally on the spot where that photograph was taken of John Lewis and Hosea Williams getting beat by state troopers. And if you look behind my shoulder, you see state troopers, they're smiling, they're laughing, and a lot of them are black. So that's some of the changes that we've seen over the last 60 years. This has been an emotional day, it's been a great day because of what happened here on that bridge 60 years ago.
I appreciate you hanging in there with me. Thank you so much. If you did like this commentary, if you didn't like this commentary, down in the comments, let me know. Either way, I really appreciate you not only checking out the video, but for commenting, liking, and of course, if I've earned it, I appreciate you subscribing. If you like this type of content, social and political commentary from a Christian male perspective, I hope you'll continue to rock with me, and I appreciate you all nonetheless. So until next time, everybody, grace and peace.